99 Nights in the Forest is a game about surviving 99 nights in the forest, with a deer attacking you every night. I had already played the game and got to day 108 and had almost all of the badges, but I wanted to see how hard it would be to get all the badges if I started as a brand new player. So I created a new account called BulletWarning with 0 days survived and got into my match with the best player having survived 87 days. So the first thing you need to do in every round of 99 Nights in the Forest is start chopping wood, and by upgrading the campfire with it, I got my very first badge. By upgrading the campfire, you unlock more of the map, which is very important for finding better items to survive. On my first day, I upgraded from an old sack to a good sack, which let me put more items in my inventory, which is amazing to get this early in the game. But to ruin my amazing start, one of my teammates had died on day 1. I knew of a very hard batch regarding teammates, so I was quick to come to rescue him, but without a bandage or medkit, I couldn't do anything and told him to wait and left him for the night. But he left pretty much instantly. And once I got to camp, I got my second badge for leveling up the fire to level 4. Having gotten to day 99 before, I knew what I should be focusing on when it came to crafting, which was beds. They make it so that after every night you get an additional day completed. After this, my teammate who died actually came back with the rejoin feature, making that impossible badge possible again. I didn't know about this rejoining feature, but quickly made sure that he wouldn't leave again. One of my other teammates revived him, and after that I found armor and a revolver, and then it was already nighttime. At camp, my team had gotten some nice upgrades like a farm, a freezer, and one wall which would block all the monsters, but I was mostly interested in finding these lost children, because just like the beds, they add an additional day each to the multiplier. So on the morning of day 6, I told my team that I would go find the first missing child. On my way there, I fought against my first cultists and found a hospital which gave me 2 bandages, letting me revive my teammates. One of my teammates managed to find the missing child before me, and it was about to become night, so I went home, but it was not going to be a normal night. A text saying something mysterious is flying above you popped on the screen, and one of them crash landed, and since I wasn't risking my teammates stealing potentially game-changing loot, I ran towards it despite it being nighttime. During the fight, it became morning, making it day 10, giving me a badge. And thanks to the last alien being distracted by my teammates, it gave me my chance to loot the UFO, and I managed to get a laser fence blueprint and a laser sword. And during the morning of day 10, I got my first warning for a cultist raid during the next night. So to prepare for the night, I built the laser fence, collected flowers, bought furniture with the coins I got from the dead cultists, and with the fairy lights placed down, we were ready for the raid. There were like 3 enemies, so we won easily, and I got a badge. Then we were on day 15, and the pelt trader had arrived and was asking me for a wolf pelt. All animals have a chance of dropping some kind of special item for the pelt trader, and for trading with him you get to pick between 3 items, and the items become way better the more trades you've made with him. So I went out hunting wolves in hopes of getting a wolf pelt, and after only a few wolves I managed to get one. I already had the spear and the armor, so I went with the old flashlight as a reward. With the flashlight I felt safer going out exploring in the middle of the night, but I got beat up by some wolves and went running back to camp, and on my way there I saw the main monster for the first time, on day 15. He came all the way back to camp, but it became daytime and I got the badge for getting to day 20. On day 20 I went exploring again and found some great stuff, until the same teammates had died again. I reassured him that I'd come save him, but once I got to him I quickly figured out why he died. He had gone into a cultist stronghold alone and with no armor. For a second I thought he was doomed, because how was I supposed to heal him with all of those cultists around? I tried fighting them and instantly regretted it, but on my way out I accidentally clicked on his body, reminding me that you can pick up other people's bodies. I got him out and revived him, giving me a badge. Told him to wait until later when we had better stuff, and then he ran right back in. I wasn't wasting another bandage on him to just run right back in, so I took him all the way to camp to revive him. During day 25 I went to find the second child and defeated the wolves that were defending the cave that the child was supposed to be in. But to get there we would have to upgrade our fire again to unlock more of the map. And to make day 25 even worse, during the day we were told that there would be another raid. So during the night the cultists came and destroyed all of my teammates except one. And my teammate did thankfully have bandages and healed them, so we managed to defeat the cultists, giving me the day 30 badge. But I quickly realized that one of my teammates had left. And unlike the other teammates, this person did not rejoin, locking the badge I so badly wanted to get out of the way during my first round. So what is this impossible badge I keep talking about? It's called Teamwork and is obtained by all 5 players being in the game at day 99. Because I was playing with randoms, I knew this would be a hard one. But this was a wake-up call to start finding all the kids and getting all the beds, because it had been like 30 minutes and we were only on day 35. So during day 35 I really started working on the fire, and I also created this machine which would make better fuel for it. I went out exploring during the middle of the night and got to day 40, giving me another badge. And then I got a warning that it was time for another cultist raid during the night, which meant that it was time for my teammates to die again. I managed to beat the rest, but 2 of my teammates had no hope in me surviving and left the game. And since I didn't want to be completely alone, I revived this teammate and it got to day 45. At home I deposited all my stuff to the fire, making us really close to getting the level 5 campfire. So I went out during the night to chop some wood, but forgot that the deer would be more dangerous that night and got attacked. The flashlight stuns it for a second, so I thankfully got away and got a badge for getting to day 50 as well as 2 diamonds. With the fire at 96%, I went out to get the final logs, and after dumping them all in the fire, I got another badge. But most importantly, this meant that I could finally save that child from the cave. And with the wolves already having been defeated from before, it was super easy and I got him back no problem. But it wasn't all rainbows and butterflies, because it was time for another cultist raid with just me and one other teammate. And as I kinda guessed, my teammate died. Once again I defeated the rest of them and revived my teammate, but after that I got a very sad message. It's okay, I have to foe. I tried to keep my tears in, but I really didn't want to play this alone. So I got my badge for getting to day 60 and then she left. I don't find this game scary, but playing this game alone just feels so lonely. There used to be 5 of us standing around the camp together, and now I was all alone. Anyway, during my first day alone, I finally went to talk to this fairy and bought one of her seed packs, giving me a badge. And after that, I finally found the 3rd child's cave, and after defeating the bears guarding the cave, I successfully got him to camp, making the days now increased by 7 instead of 6. On day 76, I got the badge for surviving 70 days, and since I had so many coins, I went to buy furniture to make my camp look nice, because it was time for more visitors tonight. I didn't even get close to dying. On day 83, I got the badge for surviving 80 days and did literally nothing else except chop trees for the campfire. And on day 90, I got the badge for surviving 90 days, and after just a tiny bit more tree chopping, I finally got the max level campfire, which meant that it was time to get the final child before reaching day 99. During the morning of day 97, the pelt trader came back, and I knew he would be asking for a bear pelt, and also that it would be the last trade, and also that I would get a badge for completing it. But the word was out for me that day, and I walked into a spike trap, making me unable to sprint afterwards. Since I didn't have any more teammates, I had plenty of healing items that I could use on myself. But that wasn't the only time I was in life or death situation, because this magic rope grabbed me from miles away, and I had to use the rest of my healing items to not die. But I did get the bear pelt I wanted. The rest of the bears didn't cause any problems, and I got the key and rescued the kid. But with just 30 seconds left of daytime, I was really scared about missing the pelt trader, especially since I was so far away from camp. I could see the camp, but there were only 3 seconds left, so it looked like I had missed the pelt trader. Well, until the game for some reason didn't kick him out despite it becoming nighttime, so I got a few more seconds, giving me time to get the badge for completing all his trades. And just a few seconds later, the badge for rescuing all 4 missing children. Now all I had to do was beat the final cultist raid, and I'll have survived for 99 nights. And since this was the final raid, I wasn't afraid of using all my ammo, so I kept my distance and shot them with my rifle, and successfully survived 99 nights and got 3 more badges. One for surviving 100 days, one for surviving 99 days without dying, and one for surviving 99 days in less than 90 minutes. I now had 21 out of the 29 badges, but wasn't about to continue doing them in this lonely world, so I left. After getting back to the lobby, it was time to redeem all of my diamonds for getting these badges, because with them I could buy a new kit. I read about all their perks, and with the 77 gems I had, I thought my best purchase would be the lumberjack. The exact same thing I bought on my main account. It gives you a better axe to start with and has a chance of dropping more logs when chopping trees. But anyway, now that I had a kit, it was time for round 2. So this time I spent a good 5 minutes looking for a team with 5 players, but also one that actually had good players who I could trust not to leave me, and I ended up getting a player that had survived for 500 days. This was also a badge I would have to get later on, which would end up taking hours. I wasn't worried about getting to that day with this team of people, and instead on getting the vegetarian badge. Survive 99 days without eating any meat. Keeping your hunger up is a very important factor of the game, but you can pretty easily keep up by cooking meat from animals. Only using grapes and carrots, which barely help with hunger, makes this a very hard badge. But anyway, this round started a lot better. By day 2 we had found 2 of the missing children, by day 6 I got earmuffs again, and by day 10 I got a giant sack. One of the best items to get this early in the game. And also this fairy became very important in this playthrough. By giving her flowers I got to pick between 2 plants to grow across the map. The first one I picked was chili, which would help with my hunger, but also gives a speed boost, which is so nice to have. This round was going really well until day 18 when one of my teammates died. I had 2 bandages and a medkit, but of course they decided to leave instantly. This meant that I had lost out on the 5-player team badge again, but besides that, this round couldn't have gone any better. On day 22, we already had a max level campfire, but on day 38, the inevitable happened. So the day started with me hungry like any other day, but I went and explored the edges of the map until I found this cultist base, and what was supposed to be a very easy fight against one cultist ended with me dying for the first time. After some time I checked the map to see if someone was coming to get me, and everyone was just in camp, making me think that my teammates wanted me dead, because on day 32 one of my teammates stole my vegetarian soup I made despite me being starving. But after asking for someone to come revive me, the person that stole the soup told me that they'd come get me, and the very next day I got kidnapped and taken back to camp to be revived. On day 56 I got my first badge in this round, which was upgrading the crafting bench to level 4. And on day 62 I upgraded from earmuffs to a beanie, and I looked amazing. And so did our camp. We had a bunch of barbed wire which destroyed cultists in raids, and also a basketball hoop. On day 82 I had finally gained control of my hunger and had a bunch of vegetarian stew in my inventory, and then quickly after that I had reached day 99, finally giving me the badge for not eating any meat in 99 days. So now I only have 6 badges left, these 4 being even harder than the vegetarian one. It would be hard to get all these done in the same round, but it was possible. So I decided to recruit some of my YouTube members and Discord server members to help me out, and made sure that they stayed until day 99 to make sure I would finally get the 5-team badge over with. So with the dream team ready to go, it was time for round 3 and hopefully the final round. So this time I could eat anything I wanted, but there was a new badge to worry about. Survive 99 days without saving any of the children. This doesn't necessarily make it harder, but it does make the game take so much longer. Especially since I was gonna get to 500 days this round as well. But what became very obvious very quickly is that my team's skill levels were very divided. On one side we had teammates telling the deer to leave us alone and putting coal in the crafting table, and on the other side we had teammates who knew exactly what we needed to do, which was to craft beds. Because beds were the only thing which would help us speed things up to day 99. And by day 9 we already had 3 of them, and also at day 9 we had our first cultist raid, which we absolutely destroyed. But on the very next one, on day 25, I was still out exploring when they arrived, and my team got cooked. And after the first death, they just kept dying, so I decided to ground them. But we did at least have a pretty nice farm going. And at day 37, after a cultist raid, we got the final cultist gem needed to craft the final bed. Now we had every multiplier that we could get until rescuing the children after day 99. On our way to day 99, I found the best axe in the game, letting me destroy giant trees. We got an ammo crate for the first time, letting me craft ammo. We got the max level campfire, and I got an awesome polar bear hat. So on day 97, we had fought our final cultist raid, and I was ready for my teammates to leave me to do the rest of the 400 days alone. And once the clock turned 0, I got the badges for surviving to day 99 without saving the kids, and with a team of 5 people. So now the new objective was to survive until day 500, and to do that we had to finally get the missing kids back to camp. And after around 2 days we got all 4 of them. So every day we complete 9 days, which is the most amount you can get each day. There's only one other item which can speed things up even more, which is the temporal accelerometer, which lets you skip entire nights, but it's also the hardest thing to craft in the game. And to get the material for that, we had to fight cultists, and the best place to defeat them is a cultist stronghold. This time I was prepared and had a full team, so we got through waves of enemies, and for defeating them all I got a badge, and me and my team got some great rewards, including 1 out of the 4 fragments to create the time machine. After this my first teammate left, but thankfully it was the person with the most deaths. The furniture trader came the very next day and I got a legendary item, and with all the time in the world until day 500, I got a fun new side objective, which was to make the camp very safe and cool looking. We also had infinite fuel from this machine, which occasionally throws oil barrels, which is the best fuel source in the game. So if we really wanted to, then we could sit in camp until day 500, because we also had infinite food from the farms. All we would have to worry about are the raiders. But I wanted to create this machine to get to day 500 as quickly as possible, so on day 162 I went exploring. So I got to this cultist base and couldn't be bothered to kill all of them, so I just ran in and got very low on health. It was about to become nighttime, so I decided to stay on the roof for the night, where I would be completely safe. So for some reason a wolf spawned on the roof, catching me off guard, taking half my health. Then the deer spawned next to me, but thankfully wasn't able to make it up the roof. And then another wolf spawned in, leaving me 1 shot, and then the deer decided to jump on the roof and I died. I would have used Robux to revive because this death really wasn't my fault, but since I wasn't on the bullet warning account, I couldn't, so I told my teammates to save me. But what I didn't expect was for them to come as soon as I asked, with 40 seconds of nighttime left, and they died on the way to me. With just 1 teammate left, I was scared about having to restart, but had hope, because this was the person with 415 days survived already. One of my teammates was quickly revived, but it wasn't me, so it was a pretty useless revive, and we were now all dead. I had to start from day 1 once again, until iHateAnime asked if he should revive us all, and I instantly said yes. It may not be fair, but this definitely wasn't fair either, so it cancels out, and now we were all back alive again. The next day I went back to the place I had been traumatized and got my stuff back, and there I found a ruby chest, which has the best stuff in the entire game. I got a gem of the forest fragment, meaning we could now craft a time machine, and I got 100 of these throwing knives. And after a day of getting scrap, I had finally crafted the time machine. The way this machine works is that by giving 1 cultist gem, you get to skip 1 entire night. Anyway, we decided to go to the cultist stronghold again to get more loot, and on the morning of day 252, I got the badge for getting to day 250. So we got through the cultist stronghold, and from the last round I noticed that only 1 person could open the ruby chest, so I took it as quickly as I could, giving me a chainsaw, which is exactly what I wanted before. So I got to destroying these massive trees and took their saplings to plant around the log walls one of my teammates was building around our camp, because I had seen pictures of this being a good idea. And because 2 of my teammates not necessarily understanding what I was doing, I had to make sure they didn't start chopping them down. And by day 315, our base was looking pretty nice. And to make it even better, the very next day the trader spawned in, giving me legendary decorations. And also we had enough resources to create another machine, and because the weather machine seems absolutely useless, we crafted the respawn machine. And with 10 night skips available, we could skip a big chunk of time by using them. With this time we just continued decorating, and I even got a mythic decoration. But most importantly, on day 432, I finished the wall of trees, and our base looked amazing. After that our crystals ran out, so we couldn't just skip every night, so I was mostly AFK until it was time to fight cultists. So on day 495 we got our final cultist raid alert. I completely forgot about my throwing knives, so I used them with no care about how many I was using, and after successfully defeating the cultists, it was just time to wait for the day 500 badge to pop up. And after 5 hours, I had finally done it. Now I just had 1 badge left, which was actually one of the easiest ones to get. Roof yourself with a bear trap. They barely do any damage to the player, so I had to damage myself many times, but slowly but surely I did it, and got my final badge, meaning I had gotten every badge in the game, aka 100%ed 99 nights in the forest. There are other badges in the game, but they're limited time badges, so they don't count. Anyway, shout out to my YouTube members, and if you like and subscribe, then maybe I'll live stream myself getting all these badges on my main account with viewers. It could be you.